The entrepreneurs I work with aren't looking for just a salesperson. They're looking for someone who can help them think, a critical thinker. And that's a distinction that most salespeople completely miss out on, because the highest performing people in business don't sell the way most people are taught to sell. They don't rely on scripts, they don't push the products, and they don't try to close people. What they actually do is position themselves as a trusted advisor. They ask better questions, they bring insight into the conversation, and they can help the person across the table think through the decisions more clearly. At that point, the dynamic of the conversation completely changes. It's no longer sales, it's just purely leadership. But before we break this down, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content on business, leadership, and scaling companies. And if you don't know, my name is Antonio Mainolfi, and I work with entrepreneurs and executives on strategy, leadership, and building organizations that scale the right way. Patrick explained that selling and consulting are forms of leadership. But I want to give a couple of stats here. Trusted advisors close deals at a 69% higher rate. Number 2, relationship-driven selling increases lifetime value by 30%. And the last one, 80% of buyers prefer instant-driven conversations over just sales pitches. The entrepreneurs I work with aren't looking for a salesperson. They're looking for someone who can actually make them think. I'll share this with you here. The CEOs I talk to, they want someone to process business. At the very beginning, they might challenge what it is that we do. How do we operate? What makes us different? If there's one thing I'm rock solid on, what we do in the industry is far different than everybody else. And the good news is nobody yet knows it. Over the 25,000 entrepreneurs and businesses that we represent around the world, one of the biggest areas that they focus and they appreciate the most is allowing them to think critically. There's not too many people, a founder and a CEO, I'm sure you watching this video can relate with. Who are they processing business with? One of the guys on my team was sharing a story. He said, Antonio, I was talking to this founder. Man, the guy loves the brand, appreciates everything that we do, everything that Patrick has built. This founder loves, trusts, and appreciate what we do on the side of business. And he was taking this video call outside. You can hear the kids playing in the background, and he's by himself. He's taking the Zoom call, and midway through the call, his wife comes out respectfully. She's very upset, vulgar. You can hear the words she's using. She's very upset. Mutes the Zoom call, says, I don't need to hear this. When he comes back, we'll process in just a moment. As we're processing, he says, hey, no, I heard for just a quick second what happened. He goes, no, I know, I'm sorry about that. That's why I took the Zoom call outside. The moral of the story is he was so upset that he had to take this phone call outside. His wife wants him home at 3:45 every single day while he runs 2 businesses. Wants him home every single day around before 4 o'clock. Why? To be there with the family. Of course, wife and kids, I understand the dynamic. But who does this entrepreneur have to talk to? Right now, the only person he's talking to is his wife. And respectfully, as he's processing business, all the challenges, firing, hiring, crucial conversations, things aren't working out in business. If the only person he can share it to is his spouse, and it's his last appointment at night, no wonder why there's building an insecurity over here, something, wondering what's happening. They're not processing business at the same area. He needs someone to talk to. So as I'm sharing this video, what this entrepreneur needs more than just guidance, he needs someone just to talk to. He needs someone to allow him to think critically. He needs someone to sit there and say, I understand you. This is normal. If I take my shirt off, you take your shirt off, there's the same battle wounds. They're the same scars. We're business owners. We're processing. But he just needs someone to talk to. So one of the biggest things I talk to with my guys is how can you be a human first? What can we do to allow them to think critically, challenge, process, sit there and understand what they're going through, and everything else will fall into place. I know if I'm able to understand you, what you're thinking about, I can help prevent future headaches, and I can sit there and challenge what it is that you're processing, whether it's a book, whether it's a video, whether it's just us talk it through. If that helps out, I left far more of an impact on that entrepreneur than signing him up for a course or him coming to an event. Now, of course, we want him at those events. We want him a part of those courses, but I need to build that trust in that relationship. Why? Because I know what we do. We're running alongside our entrepreneurs for the next 30, 40 years. One transaction isn't going to do anything. In fact, we're not interested in that. Why? Because we're here with the long-term thinkers, and only the long-term thinkers are the ones who are able to see past just the salesperson. Can I actually trust this person? Does that person actually know what they're doing and how they're processing? Have they done this before? How are they acting? How are they following up? How are they doing this? Sometimes people, they say no on the first call just to see how bad they want the sale, or just to see if they need the sale, or just to see how we operate. Perfect, John. I shared everything here. What I'm going to do at the end of this video, I'm going to follow up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to recap today's conversation. I'm also going to send most likely a supporting video or two, and even a book recommendation to make sure between now and our next conversation, you've gone through that book or you've watched a video to see how intentional you are, to see how we resonate on this call. I know if our first call was a success or it left a lasting impact if they've read the book, if they watched the video, and they actually asked me for more homework. Why? Because I know I said a few things that meant the most to them, and I did a proper needs analysis to understand that's what that entrepreneur needs. So as we're having this conversation, having somebody to sit down with, someone who's actually going to help me take my business and my lifestyle to the next level, that's someone I trust, and that's typically someone who's able to make me think critically. That's someone who's there just to actually process and earn the trust, respect, and earn the business, not just someone who's a salesperson because their life cycle is very short compared to someone who can make someone think critically. So a question for you, as a founder, as an owner of a business, you watch this video, who on your team is thinking long-term? They're asking critical thinking questions, they're processing, they're not just a salesperson on the team. And when you sit down with that person next time, allow them to sit down and understand if they're able to keep this up, duplicate themselves to the team, and you can pour into them what an incredible lifestyle that they could live driving this business for you rather than just a salesperson that's hitting a quota. If you watched the end of this video, I appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one.